morning. How are we doing? Cold as usual here in the studio. There we go. All right. Who's here? Hi Tim, hope you had a good day. It's 2 a.m. here, playing interval songs, getting ready for the show in a few days. Cool. I'll have to check. When did the new album come out? I'll have to check it out. Hi Galactic Bays, how are you doing? Good morning. Right, so I am excited. Hopefully it'll work. I'm sure it will, but there's always that 2% it won't, but it will. So a big kind of power up for me on the stream, really, just regards to the guitar playing, is I've been I needed to work out. I couldn't find a way to be able to play sort of backing tracks, from like Safari off YouTube or whatever, to play backing tracks and be able to monitor them and be able to have all my other stuff running in like super low latency. But last night I got my head down and kind of worked it out, and I've done a few sort of iterations of this setup, and what's always happened is when it came to the live stream, there was then latency on my microphone with the way that I had the monitoring set up. So last night I kind of fixed it all, and I just started again from the beginning and got it all worked out. And it was quite an easy fix actually in the end. So that's up and running. And then I thought, because I know we were going to do Nutcracker, but then I thought, you know what, because I keep talking about like practicing over backing tracks and stuff like that, I just thought, well, let's do some more playing and pick some backing tracks, and we can experiment. And it's just because like normally I'm a bit of a synth electronic person, and that's kind of the music that I'll prefer to play over when I'm writing and doing things, because I love synths and I love guitars, so that's what I'll do. But obviously, as we're doing guitar playing, not everybody likes that, so this is more sort of like general purpose really that we're doing this. I mean, obviously the backing tracks that I'm playing, no disrespect to the artists, are great, but they're generic. We're not you're not going to win any awards by playing over them. However, they are absolutely brilliant for just practicing. I mean, what would I would much rather work with a backing track than I would a metronome any day of the week. I mean, it's really hard for me to get them. I've got a metronome. It's there, look. I've got loads of metronomes. Just so you do believe me that I do have a metronome, but you'll never see me use it. I mean, come on. That or a backing track. That was quite expensive. That was like $80. Plastic. I got it for my daughter, violin. For a violin, she was told to get a metronome, obviously, by the tutor. And then the missus was like, "Don't get an electronic one. Get a proper TikTok one." So, like the wooden ones just look ridiculous. So I just thought I just need something small. So I got that one. But as soon as you start getting the mechanical ones, they're like really expensive. But obviously, upstairs in the library, you want a wooden one on top of the piano with the music stand and the violin, and that's the scene upstairs. You might have seen actually a little picture of me sitting at the piano, but it's the quintessential English living room, and I've got pictures of my daughter playing violin, looking out of the sash window at the garden. from the piano with the music stand and the metronome, but the plastic one, it's mechanical because I didn't get the wooden one. And it's all very good. Unlike down here, you know, slightly different. No bay windows. No, it's like, this is like the MMA fighting ring or something. All right. So, metronome. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, metronomes, you need metronomes, don't you? So, metronomes are great just to pull out and test yourself. I have, as we're on metronomes, and those of you who don't know what metronome I do actually use a metronome, and this is the metronome I was going to say love to use, but that would be lying, wouldn't it? So, I'll say that again. This is the metronome that I do use. What's it say? Metronome. It's good. Do you know why this is good? Because you've got intervals. I can push that button, boom, and it just counts down. What a great way to count your life down. Doing a picking exercise, watching your life disappear. Second by second. But if you are going to use a metronome, brilliant. And I paid for the full version. So there you go, my cynical look at metronomes. In fact, you do need metronomes. I mean, do practice with a metronome. Don't, listen to my negativity about it. It's not fun, is it? Oh, sorry. Right, okay. Here we go. Questions. All right. Last year, it's a very good album. Excellent. I'll check it. I have heard it then. I've heard it. And I keep going back to intervals because I like his phrasing and his style. So you can hear the almost a neo soul influence. I like that kind of playing. Your intro song is awesome too. Have you jammed to it before? I think I put it up. I think I put it up in Discord. It's up there for people to play over. So yes, that was something I did. Interesting enough, it's like somebody did message and say, put a message up saying, I would rather see you making music, Tim. Well, I spent 2 years just solidly making tracks. This is only a recent thing with the guitar thing. And the reason I've done loads of guitar on this stream is to make me a better player. That was the number one thing, right? Because you always, as an artist, you put yourself first, right? Selfish, I know. So I decided, right, to get better at guitar, right? Play guitar on the stream. All right, so that worked to a point. And then I thought, this is good and I want to do more and more and more. Then I realised, right, when you're on a stream, somebody goes, oh, how do you play that? And then you try and play something that you can play in a jam situation or when you're not being asked to do it. And then suddenly you just, explain it like shit, can't, and then play it really badly yourself because you're not in the zone. Right, you're not in flow. You're analytically thinking about how you did something, where it came from, and you're trying to perform it at the same time. So that's a different skill altogether. So I needed to get comfortable with that. I mean, now actually, with the way that I do things on a live, sometimes I meander off and I'm pretty kind of carefree, and I'll notice that I'll go round and round something too many times and not giving the information out quick enough. That's one criticism I would give myself. But then again, it's early in the morning and my brain's just farting away when I'm doing this. But I am getting better. And I do enjoy doing that. I much prefer coaching. Coaching is much more beneficial to you as an artist. If you really want to get out in the world and connect with it and make tons of music, then that's great. We are teaching, and I know people love teaching. Why? Because I know, right, that deep down, me included, that when we teach something and we learn something, that it's result focused. Okay, so there is a sense of certainty. If I practice this, then I will acquire that skill, and it's a simple transaction. What that gives you as a human being is it gives you certainty. When I'm saying like go write an album, go make some music, it's scary, isn't it? It's like, oh, I don't know what if it's not any good. What if everybody hates it? What if I can't do it? What if I don't like anything that I'm doing? How do I, all this kind of stuff. This is where the coaching comes in. And that's the big hurdle because, it's like, how do you go from this to just playing to getting out of your bedroom? I can tell you one thing though, right? The second that I don't know how many times I've had a million music lives, right? But not counting when I was younger, when I used to just get out of bed and just do everything and then just like write music and not like care. When you start becoming an adult and then you have like other commitments. I mean, luckily for me, I've always worked as a musician, but I've always worked like for somebody else and not always doing my agenda. But luckily the job's been quite creative. When I decided to sort of relaunch as an artist in 2014, even then I have somebody who was writing lots of music, doing my own shit. Whoa. I was like, I just like, it was, there was a lot of mess going on in my head. And luckily I got coached and it completely kind of changed all of that. And what I'm trying to say is that why it's important, because like guitars in this room, me being in front of this computer, me talking to you, me having all of my music that's out, me wearing this ridiculous top, right, all came from somewhere. And what it came from was actually the fact that I was releasing music, and I have like a back catalogue of stuff kind of out there. But at the time when I first started releasing, what you realise is you are making a connection to the world and other opportunities happen. Now, there might not be money opportunities, but if you haven't got any skin in the game and no music out there, nothing's going to come in. But if you have got music, just have a listen to my music. You can tell people about it. Maybe somebody important. Like, for example, my publisher. So I had music, I had songwriting. I'd done a number of tracks with Karen Harding, who had, she got to 7 in the UK charts. And she's worked with Eric Moroder and all sorts of top, anyway. She was doing reference singing for me and kind of working with her, and then her kind of blowing up at the time got me like a really good publisher. Now, none of that would have happened if I hadn't had my music to kind of send out. And then the publisher happened to be good with dance music and have a really good legal team. And then I started sending music out and then connecting with all these labels. Stuff starts happening, Me and Thomas known each other for a very, very like ridiculously long time, right? Okay. Really long. Nearly as long as I've known me missus, right? But that making the music and me making loads of music then presented an opportunity to Tom, and then we ended up together and then making more music, got McRockland Hutch, and McRockland Hutch, like, there's guitars turning up in bits of gear, and then I'm here. But if you don't do anything, nothing happens. If you do something, stuff happens. That's what I'm saying. But in terms of doing stuff, we're going to be playing over backing tracks. That's what we're doing today, because that's okay, because you need to do all of it, so we get to do the really fun stuff. It's all fun. So, intro is awesome. Right, okay. Did you get the Shredder's Bible books, Rock Discipline and Wild Stringdom? So I've heard bits and bobs about, I don't know, I'm wondering if like Rock Discipline's on YouTube. I immediately looked at the book. It comes with a CD. I don't have a CD player, so I didn't get it. But it's weird because great minds think alike. I then looked at the chapters of the book, but actually Enzo sent me a screenshot of all the chapters and what the book covers, which was very, very handy. I'm wondering if I'll have taken it. I bet I took a screenshot of it, because I thought, oh, well, that's sort of like, that's the way this book will have been super popular. Yeah, here it is. So this is stuff, right, I really don't need the book for, right? But it's really good sort of like structure, because it gives me an insight into the minds of the potentially modern guitarists, as these are the popular rock books, right? So as you say, Rock Discipline's a bit like, I wouldn't like the discipline. I would have to probably deface the front of it or something. Maybe draw some specs on John and a moustache or something. I'd have to rebel. But once I get over that, the content's really good. Write AC/DC on it. My favourite bands on the front. There'd have to be some sort of rebellion going on. But practice makes perfect, brilliant. But nothing's perfect. You can't be perfect. But you've got to be really careful. I'm not criticising this book, right? But you have to be very careful with language, right? The whole point of kind of what me and Thomas do is we're not perfect. But our path towards being perfect is one of mastery. And what that actually does, it means that it gives me the confidence to come out on these lives half-baked and unprepared and just do stuff, okay? Because I'm not worried about the perfect thing. If I was focused on perfection, I wouldn't do anything till it was perfect. Now, what are the chances of you playing something that's going to be perfect? Think about it. So we're going to make mistakes. You have to face up to it, embracing that. I mean, I could go through all the chapters like a coaching kind of thing, and then I could go through the chapters sort of like how I would do things. So time management is very important. That sounds very businessy though, time management. Because what is time management? You can set a timetable, right? And I could tell everybody here right now, before you watch me on the lap, you're all going to get up in your time, and at 5 o'clock you're going to do your practice, right? Would you do it? Probably not. And people would fall off and fall back on. So how do we manage that? How do we overcome sort of not doing the thing that you're meant to be doing? Well, we start creating habits. We start looking at the conditions of success. And this is the great thing about the coaching. It goes in deep with this when you're sitting in the room. You learn how to time management, but you learn how to actually time management so you're going to turn up and do the thing that you're supposed to be doing and get the maximum benefits out of that. And it's brilliant because I do this for a job for the health service. I work as part of a medical team. It's a mad job doing this very, very thing. So, a lot of what I do is sort of embed, a lot of psychology is embedded into that. And managing your practice materials. I mean, what we're talking about is conditions of success. So, one of the things you are all going to be doing that I've got planned in April is we're going to have, obviously, the Patreon will be set up, and I think it'll be to support the channel. I thought $4 would be good, right? But what do you get for $4? You're just supporting the channel. What you're going to get on this channel, right? Okay, is you're going to get, one of the things I'll be doing is the conditions of success. So I think we'll be spending a month, right? And I'll be checking on everybody every week. You'll do a month of actually how to focus. Actually, I think how to focus is a week. How to focus. But then after that, a month of... so managing your materials in that first chapter, that is basically your environment. So we look at your environment, we look at everything that causes friction, and you kind of spend a month adjusting things, removing things, stuff you're not using, getting out of the room, getting your guitars out of cases, putting them in a stand if you're going to use them, maybe only having one guitar, because everything else is a cognitive load and stressing you out. We do that. Okay, so I'm hoping this sounds good. So do say, I like the idea of this, Tim, in the chat. So, you'd work on your focus, your environment. You'll be working on your habits, the minimum viable commitment. How can we get you? Because, how to practice, okay, there's two factors really, isn't there, when you think about it? Okay? There's the frequency of how many times you turn up. And there's basically, I suppose, the length of time. And then there's what you're actually doing in that time, the structure of it. Okay. But then and you can't, so you'll set up one way, but as you go through this conditions of success, everything feeds into the other thing. So later on down the line, we'll be looking at boredom. Well, if you're going, right, rock discipline or whatever, I'm going to do 20 minutes alternate picking, 20 minutes legato, 20 minutes chords, and 5 minutes improvisation, right? That's not, doing that routine's not necessarily, it's not very creative for a start, okay, till you get to the jamming bit. and it'll bore you, and you'll start soon getting resistance and then falling off. So boredom, we tackle boredom because what we're trying to do is we're trying to make all that interesting. This isn't just for guitar, all right? This is for when you do electronic music, and primarily conditions of success. When I learned it, it was all applied to writing music, and then I've actually converted that into playing guitar, and it's been like nitrous oxide, right? But you lot are going to get this for nothing, right? So the community, okay, are going to be absolute, right? If you turn up here regularly, right, okay, I can almost guarantee you're going to be some kind of practicing guitar ninja, right? And if you apply it to your music, then you're going to be like a focused, creative, prolific ninja to a point. But you need to be in the room with me to actually go the full hog. And I'm not really saying that as a pitch. The coaching groups are there, but if you get on one, $237 for 2 hours with me in a room a week, it's an absolute bargain because it'll change your life. I can guarantee that. So, and it's really cheap. I'm cheaper than all the competitors because I don't have to be expensive because I'm in an okay situation financially with work and things. So I can do some good in the world for a bit less. I don't have to have zillions of pounds. But anyway, where was I? So yes, like looking at this book, looking at Rock Discipline, as you can see, it gives me lots of inspiration. It's brilliant. So time managing your practice. It just sounds like it's like when I look at that, it's like a manual for a job. Right, okay. Left and right hand synchronization, so we can do loads on that. Developing diatonic sequences. I'm sure most of you must know how to develop diatonic sequences. I mean, everybody here will have been into Yingwie and Paul Gilbert, I'm sure. But anyway, developing endurance. See how relaxing. Interval slides, I like that. String skipping, diatonic arpeggios. Sweeping arpeggios, using open strings. Well, I think I would like to see that. Expanding your vocabulary. There's a lot of stuff on the Dorian sound, using arpeggios. Actually, one of my shorts does the Dorian thing. It sounds pretty like, yeah, I'm starting to get into the Dorian sound. Mine's actually more the natural minor. Navigating lines outside the key center. Lydian dominant scale. We haven't done that. The chromatic scale, using chromatic passing tones. So yes, and then I think it went on. Here's the other one. Expanding your creativity. Putting it all together. Expanding your chord knowledge. And then studying non-guitar music. Great stuff. So yeah, they're just some thoughts, all right. I mean, I don't mean to beat that book up, and I think we'll have to be careful with. I mean, disagree with me if you want, right? But I like honestly, like the perfect, and discipline. Kind of, yeah. I want to have fun, Yeah, I agree, Tim. It can establish extremely bad habits on working out parts. I have a boss, Dr. Beat metronome. It rips. I'm going to check one of those out because I need like a hardware metronome. I'm assuming that it's hardware. Choose your fighter. The GOAT fighter I chose is John Bones Jones. Cool. I love it. Do you take the metronome with your? Do you take the metronome with your metronome? Yeah, all the time. No, don't see yourself out. You can come back. But if I designed a metronome, it would be a gnome, like a garden gnome with a hat and a clock. And you'd set it and you'd go. one way and then it would tick the other way. I'd do something fun like that if you had to have a metronome. And then as it goes quicker, you look really stressed. Aaron Marshall plays a very practical phrase, but with an extremely fast pace, and it just works, yeah. Bass makes out interesting. Any cues you'd like me to ask the band this week? I can report back. Just say hi, Aaron, from McLaughlin and Hutch. Tell him we'll be in touch. Great stuff. Once I get my guitar out and... Hold on a minute. Great stuff. Once I get my guitar out and playing along, I will give more feedback. I really appreciate it, Prue. I'm doing the laundry right now, and I tend to listen to my headphones. No, that's okay. I was just wondering, where's his guitar? Why is it not next to you? You should be doing the laundry, Galactic Bass, with the guitar on. I'm only joking. Yay. Super. Oh, thank you. Super stickers. Love it. Cup of coffee. Love it. Thank you. Oh, that's my coffee. I haven't been drinking. I'm getting so. Yeah, so here we go. Playing guitar really helps me cope with stress. I grab a chord and I feel and sing away. That's brilliant. And I think backing tracks are a brilliant thing. If we're talking about therapeutic benefits, right? Like, why do we like playing guitar? Well, the reason we like playing guitar, right, is when we're in the moment, when we're in flow, when we're in self 2, remember self 1 and self 2? When we're in self 2, that's the performance mode. There is no past and there is no future. We are completely in the moment as much as we can be. I mean, there must be some latency, mustn't there? You can't be completely like zero, right? But whatever our brains think it is, we're in that moment when it's going good. And that's why, we become selfless, we become embodied in the experience, don't we? And I mean, to me, that is very powerful. And that's why we're relaxed. And when you look at your heartbeat and things like that, your heartbeat's very, very low and you're relaxed, and that's how we should be when we're playing, really relaxed in the moment. And the other mind-blowing thing is because there's no past, there's no future, there's no editor, there's no self-one, there's no, what do they call it? There's none of that negative narrative circuitry going on, telling us to do things or telling us things are going to go bad if you keep doing this thing, right? That all disappears. Some people think that that's them, right? And it's not. It's not like another person. It's just like a function of our brain. But when we're looking at the editor that's giving us this information, it's from somewhere else, okay? But who you are, and this is what mind blows me, and who I am, truly, has to be when I'm in that moment. That's what I'm experiencing. I'm expecting the self, which has no past and no future. It's the soul. It's spiritual. And that's why I say, like, music becomes more of a spiritual thing the more that I do it. And I wonder if anybody here disagrees with me. I'm not going to cause an argument or a fight. I'm just interested. If you think, no, that's not it, Tim. Hutch. We're just nodding and agreeing. But, it's fine. I mean, obviously, what your experience is your experience, and that is perfect. Fine. But this is the experience that has been researched, and I find through the years of me doing this, the years of coaching, the many, many, many people that I've had through my own coaching program and coaching for Mike as well. This is like a big part of it. For real though, I was thinking about this earlier today. I've just been very busy this past week, yeah. And another thing about what we're going to be doing in April is it's all for the busy person. Because time, oh, there we go. Oh, that's a black square. Floor of Shadow. Yeah. Hi, how you doing? Floor of Shadow. It's great to see you on here. You can see me from Twitch. My main platform of operation is YouTube. And it would be great if you came over to YouTube and gave me a sub if you like what's going on here. Just go to YouTube, open up another window, and find me. Look for Tim Hutch, and you'll see me. And then just hit the sub button. And anybody else here, you know, if you're on here for the first time, watching, lurking, please subscribe. And do like. I'm for some reason obsessed now with Matrix, and I like the sub button, the subs going up. It makes me feel better. But I don't want you to miss out, because there's loads of cool stuff happening. Right, okay, backing tracks. Alright, haha, who's this? Falakali, I hope that's how you pronounce it. I've got, you know what it is? I'll just call you Fal, probably safer. Great to see you on here. Do subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And that's cool. Oh, you have subscribed, that's great. No, that's good. It's a lovely little profile picture, that, and I really dig the hair. The hair's cool. It's the dude. Okay, so guitar lead. This is the essential ingredients. Plug it in. Oh. Right, switch over to that. Oh, thank you. Right, the only problem is, right, I'm like, I went to the shops I needed to get some more conditioner, and I do like the Aussie products, right, but I just got the bland conditioner, and it's just made my hair really sort of like flimsy and just a bit crap and a bit lifeless. So I'm going to get something a bit better. Tim doesn't always catch the American references, yes. Sometimes it passes me by in the night. Isn't it? Oh, right. Banging guitars at this time of morning. Still not quite there on the tuning. Too excited. So I've got to watch it, because sometimes I can just talk for a while when I'm really It's okay, Tim. It's not your fault that you're British. It just makes you more polite. Okay. Well, maybe. Okay, boss. All right. So I'm hoping this works. Practicing to a backing track. Well, the best thing to do with backing track is just put the thing on and actually start playing to it. And I'll start kind of doing something. Right, here we go. We're in C sharp minor. Where's my mouse gone? Need to get the shot right. So, like, what I'll do is I'll practice something, and I'll practice kind of exiting phrases. So, we'll practice the lick. So you're going into your jam with a bit of an aim, really. So I'll pick something else. Okay. So I'll show you this. So not only are we practicing things that are vaguely musical, but we're also training our ear in certain circumstances to hear those sounds and to be able to recall them when appropriate. How about that? Something like that. So rather than, because what I like to do is, I mean, obviously we'll have days where, you know, you'll have days, right, where you're just not even, there's no tune in your head, right, and you just play, and sometimes I'll just do that unconsciously, but it is quite annoying in a way, because it's all muscle memory and what have you. Yeah, play along. So there's a great interview with like Hans Zimmer actually on Rick Beato, and I must remember this. So, like, basically Hans Zimmer sits on his hands and you'll not play anything for a movie, or you'll watch the movie back, and I suppose that could be like music, couldn't it? Till an idea comes into his head. And I think this is a reminder to me, okay? But I'm sure, you know, this is the case with most people on here, that we can just go in and start playing like the licks that we're sort of comfortable with to start something, and not melodically feeling our way about the situation. So that's just a little reminder. But let's have a look at what I was playing. So I quite like these little arpeggio things. So quite hard to play backwards. So this is what it is. We're in C sharp minor or E major, and we've got 4. So we've got our first finger, third finger, and fourth finger. and that's on frets 1, 6, and 7 of the 5th string. And I just simply bar. Okay, and then you literally play the next string. Oh, hold on. That's it. So you play those 3 notes, and then the first finger moves up to the 6th fret. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do down, down, and then the next note is going to be 8. And then a down on that 4th finger. So it's economy picking. So the picking will be down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. So we've actually got 3 downs. It's a good little thing to practice your roll with your finger. And then we just basically jump up to this 9th fret. And then that's the last little bit of it. And then we can just practice like exiting it and going into it. So I'll just run that track again. This is a good one to do. Right, how's the levels sound okay? All right. So we can practice really slow. That's the avoid note. Oh, there you go. So I'll come back to that. So what about playing the first bit of the lick and then going into something? Okay, oh, hi there, Mech, how you doing? Okay, messed up there a second. So yeah, so just practicing a phrase. Oh, thanks. Thank you, Meg. Oh, awesome. So, Enzo's playing along. Evening. 100%. These evening streams have got your chops going peak as of late. Yeah, they have. So, because just it's the frequency and what you're doing, isn't it? And obviously, it's the review method that I use. I have a special way of analysing everything I'm doing, wins, problems, and opportunities, which I've talked about many, many times before. But if you do that, you have videos of you jamming with that. Oh, that's cool. And so wins, problems, and opportunities are really, really important because you should do, every time you practice or you make music. I mean, it's not always possible to do it every time, but we should do some sort of a review. So what I tend to do is I'll listen back in the car to the stream, or I'll jump to bits that I can remember where something was like an issue. And then I'll use that as the problems and I'll focus on it. So if it's a guitar thing, you know, so for example, right, I'll do my wins, problems, and opportunities for this thing, right, that we're doing here. So the win, it's quite simple, right? The win is basically the lick ascending sounds great. Okay? The problems are, and this is where it gets exciting, so you feel good about it, right? You can do it descending and, you know, kind of getting into the lick and getting out of the lick sounding good on ascending. But descending feels... Well, it not only feels emotionally awkward and like, oh, I don't really want to do this and want to avoid it, it physically feels weird. It just doesn't feel as comfortable. So that's another thing. And then the other thing is like when I wake up in the morning, I don't like the look, right, of my picking hand. So I need to do more planting. And then when I do the planting thing, I get more tension. So already there's like lots of things to be thinking about, especially the picking thing, because that is a higher order problem, isn't it? Yes, I've got it, Mech. I've got Serum too. Friday we're going to be chilling out, looking at Serum too, you know, and Nutcracker. We're going to explore both. In fact, I did some presets for Nutcracker. But I don't know if Thomas used them or not. Or whether they're coming out later on. I don't know. I never noticed. Anyway. I just gave the finger. I didn't give the finger. You're all right. You didn't overstep. You're not going to get told off, Enzo. It's all right. Not today, anyway. Not got it yet, but the granular and spectra oscillator is pretty killer. Right, yeah, cool. So, Mac, you'll be interested in the stream because I'll be just going. It'll be a first time, like, deep dive for me. So maybe you can come on and go, look at that, look at this, look at that. I know what some of the new features are, and I can find my way around it pretty good. Oh, I can't remember if I did a diminished run. It was when you moved the mic. Anyway, okay, so I've got something to work on. So today's like practice session. That'll be one of the things that I'll work on is reducing the pick motion and getting the descending bit working. And we can do that using the backing track as a metronome. See, it's hard. Getting there. But yeah, that's what I'll be working on. It's like the Shinfield menu bit. Right. Then the other thing could be practicing in areas of a scale that you're not comfortable in. So I don't know, we'll pick something. For me, it's the entire fretboard. So now I'm working on picking tone. So it was sounding a little bit too sharp. Just one short. Oh, this is a new one. So there's another one, right? So like this kind of thing where I'm folding my fingers over each other. So this is like a pentatonic thing. So if we're taking like first position, what I'm doing is it's a 2-1-2 pattern. So this will be in position 5. And what we're doing here is we're going on the 5th string, E to F sharp, and we're on B, and that's our 1. But then we've got this weird minor 3rd stretch. So we've got 1, 2, then we've got another 1 there. It's another sort of one of those things that it'll give you that quartal harmony sound. So I'll do it slow. And you can do that little pattern. And it kind of lines you up for all sorts of other stuff. That's dead handy. Oh, there's a bit of advertising here going on. Right, you can go away. Right. Right. Do you play headless guitars? I never see you play a Charvel Ibanez ESP. Right, so basically I'm endorsed by Kiesel Guitars. So that's why. So I'm only contracted to play a Kiesel, which are amazing, by the way. For what you get, the quality what you get, they are affordable if you want like a mega guitar, really good. So I highly recommend them because at the end of the day, right? Okay, I couldn't play. I sit here, I spend a long time on a guitar, and I can't. I have to. You're investing your time into it, so it's good to have something. Get the best that you can get. So I think they're really good. Do you play headless? Right, yeah. I used to play Ibanez though. Perplexity, thumbs up, yay. Chris Holland, guitar sounds great. Thank you, Chris. Are you using economy picking for? I'm using economy, right? So the rules of this is a really good question. So if I take you through this we'll just use this backing track for today. I hope we're okay with that. Oh, I need a coffee. Right. Right. Okay. So the way generally getting about will probably be alternate picking, and then because I'm lasing bits of economy picking, although that doesn't really kind of answer the question whatsoever. But wherever I can economy pick, I'll economy pick. But the caveat of economy picking is that you have to be able to play with an inside motion. So there are times where like economy picking won't do it, and then you have to use, and we'll cover this before a few times, you have to use alternate picking to turn a lick round. So for turning licks round, I'll use economy picking. For kind of general playing melodies and getting around, it'll be alternate picking and maybe a few downstrokes, depending on what sort of articulation I want, because we're at like a kind of slower speed. Faster speed, if I'm going across a lot of strings quickly, it's definitely going to be economy picking. Okay. Unless I want a specific sound, I mean, because I can do both. That's my alternate picking. That's my economy picking. But the economy picking just feels more like natural and less thinky, so that's why I prefer it. So if you're doing sort of big runs like that, then I'm going to use economy picking for little fiddly bits. Now, something like that, it's you've got to use alternate picking. So there I'm playing the guitarist's nightmare of inside motion. But the interesting thing is the bit that when I first play it, it's an economy motion. So I'm going down, up, down, down. But everything else is now alternate. Because there's no other way to do it. Unless you have an even number of notes. So that gets rounded, so you're crossing the strings of economy picking there. But that's because I've got an even number of notes. But I don't always want to think about the numbers like that when I'm improvising. Right, tell me if that answers the question. Perplexity. I have a hard time sounding dynamic enough when high up on the fretboard, as I'm sure everyone. Right, dynamic enough, yeah. I suppose I've got a very sort of low gate. My gate's only on about 22% on Nunchuk. I really like to get my low gain through just rolling the volume off. I mean, it doesn't sound too bad there, but there's only so dynamic I can be before the gate will kick in. I know people like Nick Johnson just don't even have a gate, they just have the noise. Space and all, but you sound great, thank you. Keys will cost an arm and a leg. A spleen to be delivered to Australia for some reason. My Strandberg was much cheaper to deliver, right? Kiesel DC model guitar is just a remake of the Carvin DC model from the late 80s. There we go. I thought I was hearing more than one style of picking, I was sure, but I was hearing it. That's why I was asked. Thank you for answering there. Anytime. There we go. Solved. Right. So dynamic, yeah. That's dynamics. Let's have some dynamics in our playing. Roll that volume off. Cool. So another thing I've been working on is just like other sort of slidey arpeggios that kind of get you moving about the fretboard. And this is like one of them. Oh, if I remember it. I really like that sound. Again, C sharp minor, starting on E. So that fits in nicely with the pentatonic. So it's like an E major, like 9 that we're using. So what I do here, then we bar there, a hammer, and then slide up to there. So there's like loads of melodic possibilities for that. So it's cool just to, that's relatively new, so I'm going to just explore that idea and we're going to improvise with it. Okay, So yes, I'll just noodle about and explore the possibilities. And I suppose, sort of like finally now, my head's sort of like wanting to play more sort of chromatic things. I think now this is where backing tracks are really handy. Because a lot of playing chromatic stuff, for me, was programming in my head my tolerance for the notes being slightly out, and then kind of then trying to remember how melodically they sound so you can kind of pull them out. And how far you can push it, because you can go completely chromatic and it's just a chromatic scale, and it's like just, or he's just playing a chromatic. So you want it to have some sort of a certain musicality. And what I mean by that is you still want to be able to hear the framework and the emotion of whatever sort of scale mode that you're using. So a good way to... I just go back where it's quiet, a bit quieter. These are the sort of areas I need to work on. Nope. Yeah, it's just I really like doing all that because it takes quite a bit of control just to do it rhythmically right. I struggle with that bit. Essentially, it's just like 4 chromatic notes. It's either this pattern, those 4 notes, whether you want to mathematically play them, or that pattern where there's like a gap, and I just fit it around the scale diatonically. So, so that's just fitting around like the C sharp minor. And then I can just break out into just the scale. Okay. Brilliant. Tell you what, today's session has absolutely flown past. Scott Strandberg is Hindu, but Kiesel is much better quality. Strandberg, great though. If you don't get a lemon. Do you like ceramic, Alecchino, active, neo? What? Right. I think plastic. That's a tricky question. Right, okay. So the pickups I use Fishman pickups. They're absolutely brilliant. They're all active in every single guitar that I've got. So those ones are moderns, but I have got some Abassi to go in there. That is classic on the orange. The blue hyperdrive, which I'll have to get out tomorrow for a spin. That one is McLaughlin signature and McLaughlin signature Fishman in my black guitar, which is like obviously the go-to guitar. But there's going to be I need to build a new one soon, a new go-to, which will be the new shape of that one. Osiris, I should say. But yeah, cool. Right. So I've covered quite a bit today. Have you found it useful, you guys? I got 5 guitars of Fishman's, all different, brilliant. Yeah. Has today been useful? I'll tell you what's been cold in here. Very awesome, great. Well, I'm really glad the backing tracks have worked out because it just means I can sit here and just not have to talk to anybody and just play. I can just do a nice little chill out session for everybody. Thank you. My Stranger Bowden has Fishman Modern, best guitar I've ever played. Cool. Wonderful. So, I can't remember what I was going to say. It's been a very sort of busy session this morning. It's been great having the chat before we started. So really like that. And I found, looking at the different criteria covered in John Petrucci's book, very interesting. Yeah. Which are more metal? EMG active pickups, which are more metal, very good. Man. Yeah, so it's mad. I never thought I'd be kind of sitting on the stream doing backing tracks, to be fair. I think I'll have some more beauty light. There we go. It's better, isn't it? Getting round it for the summer, by the way, I sent you the legato chapter, but I think I need to scan it. It might be hard to read. Okay, that's brilliant. I'll look forward to that. And I'll let you know what my thoughts are. But anything like that, any sort of chapters out of books that you think are relevant, Enzo, if you want to send to me, I will cover. So I'm building my guitar book library up. I've started becoming addicted to them as well. So I've got quite a few at the minute. I've got some that I carry about with me all the time. And I've got some here, so when I'm bored, I can pick them out. And I've got 2 Frank and Barley technique books on the way. So that'll be really interesting. I'm looking forward to those. But yes, it'll be interesting to see the chapter on legato. I mean, the thing is with the legato technique, the more you get into it, it is really complicated because there's a lot of variables that go around it that you have to control. You know, there's like... Do you do hammers only? Do you do hammers only? Sorry, do you do legato, left hand only? Do you do hammers only? Do you like really pull off to get that sound, or do you brush the strings? There's managing how hard you're hitting the strings. There's all the muting. There's like loads going on, isn't there? And then the timing. Because that's the one, isn't it? The timing is like the thing that's the battle. So like, yeah, just doing like 8th notes or 16th notes and stopping it sounding like, because what you're trying to do is get rid of the sound of the string change. But then when you start bringing your pick in, so that's the technique I use to get across the strings if I'm using this hand. If I want to get across all 6 strings in one go, it's down with the right hand, down, down, hybrid, down, 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 hybrid, down, hybrid, down. And then it's the all pick, up, 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 up. But the trick, so here with the backing track, what I'm doing is on the descent, I'm practicing covering up the pick sound. Oops. Just great, isn't it? And like there, because I kind of jumped into that too quick, I was starting to feel a bit of wrist tension there on that run. So relax. Yeah. So I just got to work on my relaxation. So for me, the wins are doing this live, exposing myself in front of you lot, my weaknesses, finding them, and then by spending the rest of the day making my weaknesses into strengths. So the problems I'm experiencing are some of the descending runs, not being very good at doing them, and part that's to do with sort of the timing issues and the picking. And then also I need to work on my pick planting and relaxation, because the more I reduce the pick motion, the more tension I'm getting actually in my right hand. So I need to look at that. And I'm very excited about doing that, because what the whole point is like, by solving problems, that's how we create new knowledge for ourselves, and that's how we improve. You have to have problems, and then come up with the opportunities from those problems to overcome them, to actually move forward. So whether we like it or not, as guitarists, as musicians, we're always going to be in a process of dealing with problems, and it's the exchange of rubbish, horrible problems to much better, posher problems, so to speak. Depending on ascending and fives mixed with legato is what I'm trying. Okay, ascending and descending. Auto correct, like yes. I know what you meant. All right, good. So it is time for my park walk. This has been an excellent stream. I've really enjoyed it. And look forward to tomorrow, where we will have a look at Nutcracker, and Serum, and probably put a jam track on as well. Keep us all entertained and lift our spirits. So that's cool. And today, in case you're wondering, this is the track I was jamming on, The Power Within. It's a half-time thing, 168 BPM, by Pat Matrone. So he does a good backing track. Very handy. I'm sure me and Thomas have jammed on his stuff before. There we go. It's a secret garden shot there. Hi. Okay. Brilliant. Right, well, I'll see you all tomorrow. And I'm hoping to get some better conditioner for my hair. Thank you. So, because I need a bit more volume to it. I don't know where my hair went, but I'll be getting that back. So I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Bye.